Impact over numbers, monthly meetings with my brothers. Friends come and go, that's just how the story goes. Some stay for life, those who hold on to them tight. Even though you fuss and fight, that's your friend for life.
Look to your left, look to your right. I'm sure you'll find a friend beside you. Raise your glasses to the sky. Sing with me, I got friends for life. So many people in and out my life. Some help me down, help me to survive. Raise your toes to the sky, I got friends for life. I got friends for life. I got friends for life. So many people in and out my life. Some help me down, help me to survive. Raise your toes to the sky, I got friends for life. I got friends for life. I got friends for life.
Are you here to stay? Is it your time to go? Are you a friend or foe? How long will it take to know? Will this friendship grow? Stand the test of time? Or will you serve me? Push the blade into my spine. Thoughts of a friendly person, now I'm so selective. Those I hang around with, man, I'm so protected. Their prayers took me far. Wisdom in the car. You know who you are. You know who you are.
Look to your left, look to your right. I'm sure you'll find a friend beside you. Raise your glasses to the sky. Sing with me, I got friends for life. So many people in and out my life. Some help me down, help me to survive. Raise your toes to the sky, I got friends for life. I got friends for life. I got friends for life. So many people in and out my life. Some help me down, help me to survive. Raise your toes to the sky, I got friends for life. I got friends for life. I got friends for life. I got friends for life, those I hold on to tight. I got friends for life, those I hold on to tight. I got friends for life, those I hold on to tight. I got friends for life. I got friends for life. I got friends for life, those I hold on to tight. I got friends for life, those I hold on to tight. I got friends for life, those I hold on to tight. I got friends for life. I got friends for life. Real died. I got friends for life. Yeah, yeah. I got friends for life. Look to your left, look to your right. I'm sure you'll find a friend beside. Raise your glasses to the sky. Sing with me, I got friends for life. So many people in and out my life. Some help me down, help me to survive. Raise your toes to the sky, I got friends for life. I got friends for life. I got friends for life. So many people in and out my life. Some help me down, help me to survive. Raise your toes to the sky, I got friends for life. I got friends for life. I got friends for life.
Used to roll with a bag of man.
Had to shut that down. Too many BB contacts.
Had to shut that down.
Had to square my circle. Best my people. More people know me than I know people. You and I know them stats ain't equal. Numbers, monthly meetings with my brothers. Go, that's just how the story goes. Those you hold on to real tight, even though you fuss and fight. That's your friend for life. Look to your left, look to your right. And I'm sure you'll find a friend beside. Raise your glasses to the sky. Sing with me, I got friends for life. So many people in and out of my life. Big up Marcus, sorry. This is our track together called Friends for Life. It's going to be on One Hit Away. How we doing, people? Hey. So many people. It's the first song I actually wrote the chorus to. My first ever song I wrote the chorus to. I got friends for life. I got friends for life. I got friends for life. Obviously, I can't sing, so I had to call Mark to come and do it. Big up Rex. How you doing, mate? Hope you're well, man. Carl Nova. Don't know what one. Consia. Love you. Thank you for that, man. Appreciate it. Seriously. You know. So tonight, this is called My Strongest Weakness. And I'll tell you about it in a second. Let's just let the song roll, you get me? Look to your left, look to your right. I'm sure you'll find a friend beside. Raise your glasses to the sky. So many people in and out my life. First song I ever wrote, man. First ever song. Well, as in the chorus. It's first chorus I ever wrote. You can catch this on One Hit Away, the EP, November the 7th. Who's going to get that? Put right number 2. Press 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. If you're going to get that EP, let me know, yeah? I got friends for life. I got friends for life. Those are holding too real tight. I got friends for life. Those are holding too real tight. I got friends for life. Those are holding too real tight. I got friends for life. I got friends for life. I got friends for life. Those are holding too real tight. Hey. Those are holding too real tight. I got friends for life. Tell a friend to join. Let's get this popping in a second. Yeah? Hey. I got friends for life. Oh yeah. I got friends for life. Pecker Market. No. You won't find that at Pecker Market, Carl. No way. Get your glasses to the sky. Sing with me, I got friends for life. Alright. So, big up to everyone that's here, man. Let me get this started. So, hope everyone had a good weekend, man. I went to see a friend, actually. It was his birthday, so I went to go to just a little celebration. Sometimes you have too much of a good time. And I was trying out the new, that shisha kind of vape pipe thing. I was just trying it out. And I'm telling you, at the time, it felt good. But by the end of that night, my stomach was turned. Like, I wasn't turned, my stomach was turned. I was throwing up. Like, I'd never been like that before. I was throwing up. I couldn't even stand up. I was dizzy. My wife had to drive home. Big up to my wife. She had to drive home and everything. I was just like, I don't even know why people smoke this thing. Like, it's a madness. Like, it's just messed up my stomach. So I ain't gonna be touching that again. But yeah, man. So my strongest weakness. So this is something that I was just thinking about this week. I'm reading a book at the moment. I kind of posted it. I posted it to everyone about a week ago, actually. Gary Vaynerchuk. It's called Ask Gary V. Yeah, so if you're interested in that, go and check it out. It's on Amazon and probably also in all other bookstores. But he mentioned something, and I thought, you know what, that's very true. Everyone talks about their strengths, and they separate it from their weaknesses. And I thought, you know what if your weaknesses could be your strength? What if your weaknesses are actually the things that make you strong, that make you stand out, that make you successful? You know what I'm saying? So some people are shy, some people are introverted, some people are, they have deformities, some people have disabilities, some people have scars, etc., etc. And these things can be the exact things that can actually propel you into your destiny and into your path of success. So I thought, you know what is my strongest weakness? What is my strongest weakness? My strongest weakness is my scar. If you can see this scar here, it's about, how many inches is this? This is like something inches, I don't even know, like 7, 8 inches. So my strongest weakness, Mike Fallon, welcome, man, welcome. My strongest weakness is my scar, all right? It's about this big. And where did it come from? So a lot of people, they, when they see me for the first time, they're like, they look at my head first. And now I kind of understand how women feel sometimes when women, especially if you've got a big cleavage, or if you've got big breasts, and a man sees you and they look at your chest, but they're not looking at your face, but you can see them looking at your chest, and you're kind of like, eyes up here. That's how I feel sometimes. When people meet me, their first glance goes to my head, they go to my scar. And I can see them doing it while trying to hold conversation with me, but it doesn't work because I've been with this scar for so long that I know all the ins and outs of it. I know how I know how people react to it. I know how people go about with it. So people see my scar and they don't know where it comes from, but they want to know, but they don't know what to say. And so I thought, you know what, let me put this out there. Let me put this out there for people who may have their own scars. And these can be scars visually, these can be scars internally. People who may have their own weaknesses. I want you to know that that weakness can actually be a strength. This scar for me, this scar for me right now, this is one of my biggest strengths. It's my biggest strength, my strongest weakness. All right. So I'm just going to go through, a bit of a story of how it happened, and to how I'm here now and in a place where I'm comfortable with myself, and a place where this has become my strongest weakness. Yeah. So let's start from the beginning. So June 16th, 1982, I was born. Don't know. Bap. All right, June 16, 1982. Any June babies? If you're a June baby, comment down below. Just write June. Let me know if my June people are in the house. I was born June 16th, 1982 in King's College Hospital, South London. Don't know, bang, bang, or not. And I was prematurely born. And so it was by a couple of months. So immediately I was born, I had to be placed in an incubator. My mum, she lost a lot of blood. She was dealing with high blood pressure. She had me. They put me in an incubator, and they had to keep me there for, I think, like a couple of weeks. I was just in there because my stomach, my intestines, and my organs hadn't developed properly. I had trouble breathing. So on my stomach, I've got like a scar. I would show you, but I've got a pot belly, so it's not about that. And so I literally had to be in that incubator to get me to breathe properly, breathe on my own, all these different things, all these different complications. Thank God, though, I still came into this world. I still came in. And there were different procedures that had to be done on me. One nurse in particular, she had to do a particular procedure on my head. And I think what she was supposed to do was to do like a drip. So you get drips in your arm, you get drips in maybe in your veins and so on and so forth. And I think she was supposed to attach one to my scalp. For no apparent reason, and I don't know why, it just went wrong. And she put the drip into my head, but I don't think she did it correctly. And so the fluid that was flowing through went into my head. Now, whatever fluid that was, I don't know. I don't know how, so young, I didn't really know specifically how that happened. But it spilled out into my head, and immediately they had to go to work because I'm young as well. I was a young baby. I'm premature. Man's in an incubator. So you've got doctors rushing here. You've got nurses rushing here. And immediately they had to do operations on me. But I'm young, so it was a bit touch and go. Over time, I had to go, over the years, I had to go back and forth from the hospital to go and get checkups. And they did an immediate operation of a skin graft. So they took skin from my arm. So you can see the scar here. This scar here is the exact same pattern as the scar on my head. So they had to take the skin from here, place it on here, to kind of just almost like bandage it up and everything. It stayed like that. And once it formed, that's how it was going to stay. There was going to be no hair growing on it. There was going to be nothing that was going to come through or anything. That was the scar, and it was set. And so that was how it was. As I grew up, I went into primary school, and primary school is a funny experience because primary school, it's almost like everyone's on the same playing field in primary school. In primary school, you just drink your milk, you play in the sand, you argue over lollipops, and you get your best friend bracelets, all those type of things. So everybody's on an equal platform. You don't really, in terms of race and class, everybody's on the same platform. So in primary school, I didn't really realize I had a scar. I didn't really realize I was different from the other kids in a sense. And so that was a great period of time because it was a moment of bliss. It was a moment of complete, utter, I was totally unaware of what it could be. All right. So we do primary school, we graduate from there, we go to secondary school, obviously. And yourself, all of us know that when you go into secondary school, that is when things change. That is when you get to understand different social classes. What place do you fit into? Are you in the popular area? Are you the sports person? Are you the studious person? Are you the road man that don't want to know? Do you know what I'm saying? Don't want to know anything. And so I didn't know where I fit in that. But I went to secondary school, and that's where I understood there was difference. That's when I saw difference now. I saw that these are the popular guys. These are the guys that everyone loves. These are the guys that all the girls like. They go after. These are the popular ones. These are the sports ones. But I wasn't very much into sports. I still don't really like much sports. I wasn't into football. Everyone was into football. I don't really like football. I hate being in the cold. I played for the football team for maybe 2 games in Brentside High School. Anybody from Brentside High School? Anti consideration knows about Brentside. I played 2 games for Brentside, and I was like, it's freezing. It's freezing out here. Why are we playing in the cold? It's muddy. It's freezing. You want me to pass the ball? It's cold. And so I just thought, you know what? Bun this. I'm not doing football. Stop football. But my talent was in music. And so everyone kind of knew that I did music. So I went into secondary school, and a place where I thought I would get bullied, a place where I thought, I'm going to be a target here, it was totally the opposite. And I really, really think that was down to God. It was totally the opposite. I had people who fought to defend me. I had people who fought to protect me. If anybody ever came to trouble me, if there was any insults thrown my way, I had people who were just on it. Shaznay, how you doing? I hope you're well. Good evening. I had people who were just on it to protect me. So I was in secondary school. I thought this scar would be a problem, but these were people who were saying, you know what, don't worry, I got you. And I remember one instance in particular, there was the class bully. The class bully was called Chris. And Chris was very good at picking on people, like picking out things to pick on people, whether you were overweight, whether you had rubbish trainers, whether you had holes in your socks or whatever when you see it in PE. And so he would try and target me. One day he tried to target me, and I remember he approached me in the dinner queue. Yeah, he approached me in the dinner queue. And I just thought, you know what? Man is hungry. Don't bother me because I am hungry. So I just thought, you know what? Chill, leave it, ignore him. Went to get my food. I sat down in the dinner hall, about to eat, tuck into some good food, yeah? Good food. And he sat opposite me. He got his drink out. I got my drink because I was drinking. And then he poured his drink all over my food. The food I've been waiting to eat since like break. I've been waiting to eat. He poured it all over my food. And I looked at him and thought, oh, say nothing. Say nothing. Now, I'm not a road man. I'm not really that kind of person. So I thought, you know what? I got my drink and I poured it all over his shirt. Like, take that, blood. Take that. I poured it all over his shirt. I hurriedly got out of that canteen quickly because I thought, as I was doing it, I was thinking, what are you doing? You can't back this. So I got out of the canteen quickly and then I ran to the sports field where I knew people were playing football. Got to the sports field and I thought I could just blend into the match. You know, when you just say, yeah, I'm playing, blend into the match. And all of a sudden I turn around and then there's a whole group of people walking to the field. And all I can hear, you know, you got that one person shouting, fight, 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 fight. I hear one person shouting that and I thought, oh, it's on. Chris came and he had a whole heap of people around me. And then he approached me and I was like, what? And then he pushed me. And I thought, okay. Immediately, big up Ruben Cumberbatch. Don't know, he was big. Like, you know when you got those kind of big brothers? He was big and he just stepped in and said, what are you doing, Chris? He stepped in and said, what are you doing, Chris? And he pushed me to the side and said, bruv, go. 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 And he just dealt with it. I don't know what happened. I don't know if he got beat down, but he just dealt with it. So in secondary school, I thank God because I think God did that on purpose. He put people in place, even though my weakness, even though what I thought should have been my weakness, should have made me a target, should have made me, you know, there's a subject of ridicule. I believe God put people in place to protect me and to be there in a sense, in the divide, in the middle, to protect me against all this madness. So through secondary school, I had people protecting me, but I was also popular. I was popular. What that? I was popular. Like people gravitated to me, and I was more of an extrovert in secondary school. I believe I was much more of an extrovert. I had a few more friends than normal than now, and so I was quite popular, and I had girls. I knew girls. Like I would talk to girls. I wouldn't talk to girls necessarily to chirp them. It wasn't to like connect with them. It wasn't like that. It was more like I was there. People, they would just talk to me. They would just talk to me. They would always just kind of, they would have problems and they would just run and by me. Ask, what do you think? Like, Topper, what do you think? What's your opinion as a guy, as a man? And I would give that advice. But, you know, when you're friends with a girl, over a period of time, like, you can develop feelings very easily, like even as a friend. And so because we had good rapport with a lot of girls, I would misconstrue that and think, okay, they're on me. Oh, okay, so, and I would ask them out and I get friend zone, friend zone, friend zone, friend zone. Anybody else been in the friend zone? No? Write friend zone down if you have. And I'll be friend zoned. And that hurt. That's when I started to think, and my mind started to do this. My mind started to, again, draw towards my weakness. Maybe it's because of my scar. Nobody else has a scar in this sixth form. Nobody else has a scar in this school. Look at the guys that always get girls. They don't have no scar on their head. How come I'm only the one with a scar on my head? I always approach these girls. I'm a good guy, etc., etc. And in my mind, my weakness started to take hold. So even though I had people protecting me on the outside, in the inside, nobody could protect me about myself. Nobody could actually deal with that but me. So I started to really, that's when I started to become very self-conscious. I started to wear hats, loads of hats. I just bought hats upon hats. I would just try and wear them as much as possible. If I'm going somewhere new and I was going on my own, I would wear a hat because I knew I'm not coming back to this place, so I need you to remember me with a hat on. If I was going with a friend or someone I knew, it was much easier because I have that support system. Somebody has already accepted me. So during this period, I became very, very self-conscious. And I think the camel that, how do you say it? The straw that broke the camel's back was a girl called Talika. Big up Talika if you're watching this. And she's in one of my lyrics. I say, Talika broke my heart, Diana wiped my tears. Right? Talika broke my heart, Diana wiped my tears. And what happened was, Talika, I knew Talika. She was like, I call her an untouchable. Untouchables in my school, and I call untouchables girls that were way out of your league. Like, don't even approach it because it's not going to work. Those girls that had the slick baby hair curls, you know, and the gel, those girls with the gold earrings, puffer jackets, they were just way out of your league. So I called them untouchables. I met her, an untouchable, through a party on my estate. And because I didn't know nobody there, I approached her. She was with someone at the time, but when she came to the school, she was single. So I thought, whoa, man's already in there, because I know her before everyone, but everybody was on her. But I thought, all right, no problem, just take my time. And then one day after school, I approached her and I was like, you know what, I think you're a beautiful girl. I think we really connect, etc., etc. And, I'd like to go out with you, do you know what I'm saying? And I want to know if it's mutual. And she was like, oh, you know what? I really appreciate that. Thank you for your honesty. And you know what? I'm going to think about it. I'm going to let you know. I was like, yes! Don't know. She didn't say no. And she's an untouchable. So she didn't say no. And I thought, I didn't get a no from an untouchable. I didn't get a no from an untouchable saying easy. And I thought, yeah. And I remember I came out of school and I saw some of my friends. I was like, yo, guess who I just spoke to? I just spoke to Talika. She said, maybe, fam. She said, maybe. And we were like, oh, yeah, safe, brother. Oh, all right, cool, man. Well done, man. Well done. So I gave it a week. And I called her phone. Hi, how you doing? You right? Yeah. So, like about that thing I asked you, like, what you... Because, yeah, I'm just still thinking about it. And, I'm just seeing how things go. And yeah, I mean, we can still talk and everything. I was like, okay, cool. That's all right. Don't rush, no pressure. It's cool. That's 1 week down. I spoke to her friends. I was like, yo, so what's Talika saying, man? Like, give me some insight. Like, we talk, what's Talika saying? And they were like, yeah, just give her time, man. She just doesn't want to be rushed. Viv, well, just give her time. She doesn't want to be rushed. Like, it's cool, don't worry, like, just, she'll get back to you. I was like, okay. It's taking a bit of time. 2 weeks now. I'm thinking, you know what, this girl's taking a bit of, it's taking a minute because can you just give me an answer, yes or no? If it's no, let man know. 2 twos now, as Mr. Lethal Bizzer would say. I was in the common room, and in the common room, it has windows where you can see the whole playground. So if you finish a lesson and you're coming to finish break or whatever, if you finish a lesson, sorry, and you're coming to the common room, you can see everyone. And so one day, I saw 2 of my best friends, not best friends, sorry, 2 of my good friends walk into the common room. And Talika was with them. And I thought, okay, nothing out of the ordinary there. But then As I came into the common room, one of my friends was in front. The other friend was with Tanika. Now, I'm a very observant person. I'm an introvert at heart. So in being an introvert, you are ultra observant. So I observed that and thought, why would, these are my friends, why would one of them be walking with Talika? Why wouldn't they just walk as a group? So I took a mental note and I thought, I better watch this. 3 days later, I was in art and design. I was bored. I came out of lesson. I'm just going to go to the toilet. Went to the toilet and I thought, let me just see what's going on with what's happening in the common room. Maybe someone's jamming there or whatever. Open up the common room door. Who is in front of me, like sitting down on the couches? There's two people in front of me. My good friend and who? Talika. Yeah. Yeah. Talika. Talika broke my heart down and wiped my tears. Talika was there with one of my good friends and they became a couple. From that day, I think from the time I saw them walk into the common room, they became a couple. And I was like, Talika. I didn't say anything to her. I saw that and almost like, you know, the movies, I ran out of the common room and I was like, I was like, she couldn't even have the audacity to come and tell me no. Like, no, I don't want to go out with you. I like this person. And the friend who I had told couldn't even have the audacity to come and tell me that, bruv, I'm feeling Talika, I'm hooking up with her. So that broke my heart. That sent my insecurity and the weakness in my mind of, you know, this scar, that sent it into overdrive. And I started to think, wow, like this scar has really, it really dented my confidence. This scar, look at what this scar in a sense has produced. Because he ain't got a scar. If I didn't have a scar, maybe she would have answered me quicker. If I didn't have a scar, maybe we'll be going out by now. If I had a scar, she didn't have a scar, she would have said yes to me when I saw her on the estate. And so I think that really my mind, it messed up my mind. It made me start to think, this scar is my biggest weakness. This scar is my biggest flaw. So even though I had people protecting me from the outside, internally, nobody could protect me. Because in my mind, I was creating a whole new story. And so I my hat wearing went into overdrive. I would look in the mirror and I would just look in the mirror with disgust. Like, why do I look like this? I would pray to God or more so vent to God and just be like, why did you, of all the people, I've got to be the one to have a scar. Me, of all the people in the world, I've got to be the one to have this scar. You know, I'd go to the hairdressers and I would hate going to the hairdressers. I would dread it because, especially when you go to Jamaican hairdressers, they would just be like, wagwan boy, someone chop your head, and then they would all laugh. They would all laugh. Wagwan boy, someone chop your head, and then they would all laugh. When you're a young boy and dealing with those insecurities in your mind, that does not help. And I would hate going to the barbers, but I need to get my hair cut. After a while, I think I just couldn't take it, and I was just like, you know what, this is nonsense. Like, this is dead. I just thought, I just felt cursed. Almost felt cursed. I felt cursed as a teen. I just felt cursed. And then one day I was going out and I put on my hat. And this was the turning point for me. So if anybody, I know there may be people out there that have their own weaknesses, or they feel they have their own flaws, whether it's, in their person and you can see it physically or internally. But everyone, one part of overcoming that is turning points. Turning points will always turn the situation around. My turning point came when I was going to an event and I looked in the mirror and I was going to put my hat on, as I normally do. It is my safety blanket. And then I was going to put the hat on, and then I looked at myself and said, Ice, that if you put this hat on, do you know that underneath the scar is still going to be there? I just stepped back from the mirror and I was just like, you know what, I'm leaving the hat at home. I'm leaving it at home. And I went to that event, no hat. That was a big, big deal for me. No hat. just my scar exposed, just my scar ready for people to look at first, then look at my face, just my scar ready to be the center of attention, and then everything else. Joy, how are you? Hope you're well. So that for me was a turning point. I went to that event, took off my hat. I didn't take no hat, just left my scar ready for people to view, ready for it to be maybe ridiculed in people's mind, for me to be whispered about, etc., etc. I came back from that event and I thought, you know what, Ice? I call myself Ice sometimes. I said, you know what? Whether you put a hat on or if you don't put a hat on, your scar is still there. This is who you are. Just accept it, brother. This is who you are. And I remember at the time, during that period, my dad had asked me, do you know what, we can go to a hospital and do you want to go for treatments where you can get your scar covered? They can put implants and probably put us, hair over the scar. And I thought about it and I said, you know what, Dad? No, it's okay. He said, are you sure? I said, it's all right. It's fine. Because that turning point made me accept that, you know what, Ice? Whether you cover the scar or you don't cover the scar on your head, you are who you are because God made you that way. Like if God would allow such a mistake to happen, don't you think he had greater in mind? And I thought about that. I thought, it's true, He could have made the nurse do it perfectly. He could have made the nurse not make a mistake. But no, it was how it was supposed to be because that's how it was supposed to be. And from that moment there, I started to look at it as, well, no, you know what? This is my strength. This is my strongest weakness that I have, and I'm going to use it. And so I started to think to myself, you know what? When we go and perform, when we go and do shows, embrace it. Don't let them go. Don't go up on stage with your head down. Go up on stage with your head high. If you're going to do a photo shoot, let them see the scar as well. You're going to do a video. I used to hate doing videos. All my days, I used to hate doing videos. I would want the cameraman to go on this side so you can't see the scar, not on this side, so you can just expose the scar. But my first video, Broken Violins, I thought, no, but that's who you are, Ice. Embrace that, man. This is your strongest weakness. So I said, you know what, it's cool. Let it go. Did photo shoots. And if you can see, you've seen as I've been posting photos and stuff, it's for me to be more comfortable in who I am and for me to embrace my strongest weakness. So it's no longer a weakness. And for you to make it no longer a weakness, you've got to embrace it. Whether it's a scar on your face, whether your teeth are crooked, whether you've got a scar on your arm that you don't like showing when it's hot, or you've got whatever it might be. Do you know what I'm saying? Like you've got to really try and embrace it, And so I read a scripture in the Bible, I read Psalm 139, and if you have any weakness or in a sense a scar, like that's a really good chapter. I would really encourage that, Psalm 139. And in one of the scriptures, in the first opening scripture, it says, "Oh Lord, you have searched me and known me." I remember when I read that for the first time, I was like, "Raw, oh Lord, you have searched me and known me." And this is David in the Bible saying it. No, is it David? Yeah, David. Psalms? Yeah, it was David. And David saying, "Oh Lord, you have searched me and known me. My thoughts are never far off from you. You know when I sit down and when I rise up." And I thought, wow, like God who could know me, God that can know me for everything I am and all my thoughts and all my insecurities and all my flaws and all my weaknesses. You know that. And yet you wouldn't change it. God who was there when that nurse made a mistake on my head, that you know that. Then it says how, you're was it beautifully and wonderfully made. All right, you're beautifully and wonderfully made. And I thought, you know what? Beauty sometimes is so, it's beauty in they say what they say, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. And I thought, you know what? If God can put me on this earth, make me how I am, how I look, with this scar, if he can accept me, if God can embrace me and God loves me, then who gives a damn about what anybody else thinks? If God with my scar can love me, if God can embrace me in all my flaws, and there's more flaws than you could ever know, then you know what? Who am I to go against that? Who am I to rubbish that? If somebody wants to embrace me, I'm going to embrace myself and him. And I remember that was a big turning point for me. And I just thought to myself, you know what? Let's go forth and this be my strongest weakness. And it's not that I don't wake up sometimes and look in the mirror and just think, you look ugly today, man. What is this, man? This scar, you just look ugly. Oh, how do I even cover it? Oh, man. Because it's my strongest weakness, I take pride in my hair. Sometimes I ain't got money to cut my hair. So when I get an afro, I'm like, oh my gosh, I look even worse. I got an afro, my hair looks picky, and I still got a scar on my head. It's not like I don't have those days. And even though your weakness can be your strongest weakness, it's not that you will not have days when you just feel it still feels like a weakness. But I feel it's a continual process. It's a continual process where you build up that strength, that weakness to be a strength. Build it up. You tell yourself, and I do that to myself. I look in the mirror, and it's such a cliche thing to say, but until you do it, only then can you know the empowerment it gives. I look in the mirror and I say, you know what? Yeah, you're talented. You're talented. You're an attractive man. You're a great husband. You're a great brother. You're a good friend. You work hard. You're creative. You have the ability to turn things around, that even if you haven't got a lot, you can make them better. You're great, you know, that God loves you. And you're not perfect, but God still loves you. I got to tell myself it, because ain't nobody going to tell me it. People can like a Facebook, share a Facebook message, like an Instagram post, retweet you, but then you've got to say it to yourself, because ain't nobody going to say it to you. And even if they do, that's not enough, because the outside can be okay, and people can facilitate the outside, but if internally you ain't told yourself it, then it's a problem. Yeah? So that's my strongest weakness. All right, that is my strongest weakness. Learn to embrace all those things that may seem as weaknesses about you, and look at them from God's angle. Even pray that, God, help me see my weaknesses through your eyes. Like, help me see them through your eyes. Help me see myself through your eyes. That's a powerful prayer that I pray all the time. Help me see myself through your eyes, because you see things that I would never see. The fact that you could still be with me all these years and still stick by me, there's something that you see that I cannot see. Help me see myself through your eyes. You know? My strongest weakness, man, my scar. So I thank God for it every day. Big up to everyone that's here. Let me go through the comments. What y'all saying? Joy, hey, I thought it was a side part. And Joy, you know how many times people say it's a side parting? This is not how is this? A side parting is, yeah. So when people say it's a side parting, I've met people, and probably you even said that to me, Joy. I've met people, and they'll be like, oh, yeah, I like your side parting. I'll be like, what? Yeah, I like your side parting. And in my mind, I'm like, why are you taking a mic for? Why are you taking a pee? No, why are you taking a mic? And I just be thinking, this is not a side part. It's a blatant scar. But I get what you mean, Joy. I get what you mean. What did someone else say? You have a scar. So Bissela, you have a scar on my forehead from a car accident when I was a child. And as I've become more confident and comfortable with it, it is as if I didn't see it anymore. God is wonderful like that. Indeed, Bissela, man. Like, once you see the scar from a different angle, once you can see it from a different perspective, man, you just embrace it. You just embrace it. You just see power in it. Everyone's throwing around that word, powers, man, powers. But no, you see power in your weakness. You see power in that thing that's supposed to be a scar or a downfall. And this is not just for physical scars. Like we have all got crazy weaknesses that if we were to, man, if I was to tell you all my weaknesses, you wouldn't even listen to my music anymore. Do you know what I'm saying? So we've all got weaknesses that would hinder us from even interacting with people. But for God to still be rocking with us, for those who believe in Jesus, for those who believe in God, we know that it is through our weakness God finds strength to still use us. That even in our weakness, in us understanding how weak we are, it keeps us so humble and so grounded. It's very hard to be proud and to be, lofty-headed when you know who you really are and you know your flaws and your weaknesses. So I hear what you're saying, man. All right, J-Man, big up you, man. All right, guys. So yeah, that's my strongest weakness. If you have any questions, you can throw them in the comment box now. Big up to you who've all joined and listened with me. I appreciate it. I appreciate your time. I don't take it for granted, seriously. And I just wanted to share it because I realized certain things, and I always just want to share it in case someone else is there, just like me. What did someone say? J-Man, I was supposed to grab a picture with you. Totally forgot, but thanks so much for sharing that, man. You made our day extra special. Enough love, bruv. No problem at all, man. It was a beautiful day, man. Trust me. It was nice to be there and just see you. Just enjoy yourself, man. You and your wife. But yeah, man, guys, if you've got any questions, if you've got any comments, you can throw them in the comment section. Or if you'd rather just message me personally, my inbox is free. It welcomes you totally. As you should know, or hope you do know, I've got my EP coming out November the 7th. It's called One Hit Away. It's for every single person who is striving and pursuing a dream, to let you know that you're just one hit away. You cannot give up now because you've come way too far. So you can't even say you're giving up. I had someone inbox me that just on Saturday, just telling me, you know what, I was going to give up, but I've been seeing your posts. I've been seeing what you've been putting out there. And you know what, I'm going to get back to writing. Yes, because you've come too far now. Your talent has brought you too far to backpedal. Keep going. Keep pursuing the dream. And that's what One Hit Away is about, man. Viv, yes, bruv, powerful. I've got a similar scar. Well, actually, mine is a birth scar. Used to get similar comments at the barbers. I can really... Real recognize real, Viv. Trust me. Those comments, especially big up your Jamaicans. Any Jamaicans in the house, put your flag there. If you're Jamaican, put your flag right there. I want to see that Jamaican flag right now. Big up to you, lot. I had to learn how to love Jamaicans because sometimes the way they come off is harsh. Boy, chop your head? No, nobody chopped my head. All right, a nurse made a mistake, okay? Mad. But yeah, big up to everyone that's locked in. Watch out for the pre-order link. I'm going to post the pre-order link maybe today or a few days. Make sure you pre-order the new EP. If you are on Facebook, obviously you are, but if you haven't already liked my page, feel free to like my page and just follow me on my journey. I just thank you for your time. God bless you. We're all one hit away. How do you stop this thing? No, I didn't stop this thing. Oh, it says finish. I press finish. Bye.